way to do long division. To start long division, the first thing you should do is to look at what you're dividing by. So you're dividing by 23 in this question, and you need to list out the first 10 multiples of 23. So on the right hand side of the paper, you start with 23, and then you want to add 23 repeatedly until you've got to 230. You can either do this in your head if you're good at doing mental arithmetic, or you can continually add it in a short column method, but it should go 23, 46, 60, okay, now you're going to use those to answer this question. It's very, very difficult to answer a question without having written down the multiples first, because you won't know those times tables, you won't know the multiples of 23 easily off the top of your head. Right, once you've done that, it's then that you can start drawing the bus stop for this question. So then go over to the bus stop and you go, right, how many 23s go into 1? Clearly none. How many 23s go into 17? Again, none. So how many 23s go into 179? We're going to look at, we're not interested in the 4 at the moment. So how many 23s go into 179? Well, we can do that. So we go over to our list over here. I'm going to count down in 23. So we're going to try and get as close to 179 without going over it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've got 7. So put 7 there. Now we got to the 7th number, and the 7th number was 161. We're now going to subtract that from what we had above. So 9 take 1 is 8, 7 take 6 is 1. You then need to bring down the next number. So the next number available is 4. So we've got 4 here. Now you ask yourself, how many 23s go into 184? So go back to your list, trying to get to 184. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we got to the 8th number. So we write 8 there. We write 184 here, because that's the number we got to. We do a subtraction. So 184, take 184, is clearly 0. And we're pretty clearly at the end of this question, there's nothing else to do. So 1798 divided by 23 equals 87. Okay, so this time we've got 2881 divided by 67. This is going to be a little bit harder to list out the multiples of 67, because you've got to think about the tens and the units all going over 10, which can be a bit more complicated to do in your head. You start with 67 I should say, and you've got to add 67. But you might be able to do this in your head, and you'll get, okay, so 60 add 620, add 7 and 7, 14, so you can have 134. But you can get a bit bogged down in trying to do it in your head. So what you can do is get a bit of scrap paper and just do it by the side and go, 67, 134. I need to add. I'm going to add 67 each time, basically. So whatever answer you get, you've got to add 67 to it. So you're going to end up with 201 for your next answer. And then you take 201 and add 67 to that. That's fairly easy to do. You should get 268. So add that to the list. So once you have all the multiples of 67, you can start writing that onto the bus stop. So 67, 2, 8, 8, 1. And we're going to do the same method. We're going to basically say how many 67s go into 2? Clearly none. How many 67s go into 28? None. How many 67s go into 288? Right, go over to the list and count down. 1, 2, 3, 4. can't go any further, so it's 4. So I'm going to write 4 here. I'm going to write down the number I actually got to, 268 underneath, so 268, and I'm going to subtract that away. So 8 take 8, 0, 8 take 6 is 2, 2 take 2, 0, so I'm going to leave that blank, and then bring down the next number, so it's 201. Then we're going to go back to our list and say how many 67s going to 201. So you go 1, 2, 3. And we always write that number that we just got to, 201, underneath. Subtract it, and I think fairly obviously that's going to be 0. Oops, it's going to be 0. And because we've got to the end of the row here, or the column I should say, and you've got 0, it's pretty obvious that this is the final answer. So 43 is the answer there.